we've had prophets, pastors, they'll come and tell you, hey, this is not the man for you, this is not the woman for you. And this, the prophet himself will come and say, hey, I'm the man for you. And there's a lot of just misconception in what is happening. So prophets, pastors, evangelists, apostles, they are coming to these young girls and telling them things. Especially when the young girl brings a guy over, then the prophet will like, no, I did not feel that. The anointing was refusing, so this is not the person for you. Yes, there's a thin line between giving advice to somebody and also having the right intentions when giving them that information. Diana, have you ever been told such? I know you're a young lady, a beautiful young lady, you're growing, you want to settle down. I'm sure some of the challenges that you face is when a papa says a word in you. Do you have a testimony?
Yes, I have been found in a situation like that where I'm being told to say, okay, this person is the person you're supposed to settle down with. And then now I'm looking at this person, and first of all, I'm like, okay, I'm very young, because at that time I was like 20 years old. Like, I'm very young, and then I am not even sure if I want to settle down with this person, because there were so many red flags. And I'm being pressured to say, don't leave this person, because the moment you leave this person, you are going to suffer. Life is going to be so miserable for you. And now, because of those words that were uttered to me, I was so frightened. You know why I'm so scared now? Like, oh, should I stay? Should I leave? But eventually, I just told myself, it's up to God. And I left, and I'm not miserable.
That's what I'm going to
I'm not miserable.
You're not miserable?
I'm not miserable.
Wouldn't you be happier then? You're not miserable, okay. But,
I'm not miserable.
But if you was around, would you be happier?
I don't know.
This is it's a twofold.
Well, I don't think so.
Okay.
Looking at the factors I considered before leaving this person, or before just parting ways with this person, I don't think I was going to be happier, but I'm not miserable, so hey.
Okay. So you're happy without them?
I am happy.
Okay.
Yes, I am happy.
Then he is not a true man of God then. Right?
Not that he's not a true man of God. You know how it is sometimes. People will say things just to have their way. Okay. And then it was very complicated, Wadi.
It was complicated.
The next minute this person is saying, don't leave this person. After some time, this person comes and says, God says you are my wife. This man is not meant for you. You are meant to marry a pastor.
He came back to you?
Yes. The same man of God came and said, God said you are my wife. I see a wife in you. This person is not meant. And now there is me so confused.
What? No.
And I asked him the question. I said, I don't understand. You said this man is meant for me.
Yeah.
And now you are coming and saying he's not meant for me. You are the one meant for me. Which is which? No. The latter is the one. Yes, no.
So this happened after how many years?
It happened just a few months.
A few months after you broke up?
Yes, a few months after I broke up.
Oh, wow. This is what we're talking about, people. About the folk wish ba prophet profita pastor ba mchechi mwenu bali mieba ko ati uyu muntu uri na yena teo. Then later on achaka you 10. Please, when you're going to tell us your testimony, please don't mention names. Please. I beg. Please do not mention names. Just tell us your experience. And that's our disclaimer. Tell us your experience so that other people can learn from it. We're not going to shame anybody here. All right, if you want to take them to court, you do your so. This is not the place to start doing dirty laundry.
No, they understand.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. Because government, no, Prophet, why did I so? Sorry. Not going to do that. So, before we get to my apostle, these things usually happen. My personal experience, Diana. I was dating somebody some time back. And I confided in this man of God. Like, I would tell him what I'm passing through. By then, I was like a wire. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a zero. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no zibombo, my friend. I was nothing. Zitch. All right. I know, my brothers, if you feel me, man, it's bad. Then you're dating somebody who's a bit more in terms of life. She's making a bit more money and whatever. And you're just a guy trying to push your life through. Then I would confide in a pastor. And I would tell him, hey, this is what I'm passing through. This is what I'm doing. And I would tell him everything. Oh boy, the way those things were used against me. Every word for word. You know, I mentioned to say, I'm failing to manage this person. Like, I'm failing to manage this person. He went and used it against me and he's failing to manage you.
So he told the person what?
Yes. Everything. everything. And it doesn't happen. It happens. It happens. And this is supposed to be a person that's supposed to build. And that is why when we speak about these things, these are life issues. These are life things that are actually happening. Breaking homes, breaking relationships. So, yes, sir. The question.
The question. You know, in the first place, who gives marriages? It's God himself. If you go by Psalms 127, okay, Psalms 127, okay, unless the Lord builds the house, okay, they labor in vain who build it. Okay, we know the verse, all of us, unless the Lord. So God is the one who knows our background, our character, our emotional problems, whatever, is the one who should speak to each and everyone's heart to connect. Okay, to connect. Even 34, Isaiah 34, that's the main one. Isaiah 34 verse 16, the Bible is saying, 16, search from the book of the Lord and read. The Bible not say search from the mind of a pastor and a prophet and then you get a wife. No. You see? Not one of these shall fail or shall lack. Not one shall lack her mate or her partner. For my mouth has commanded it, and his spirit has gathered them. The Spirit of the Lord is the one that is going to gather all those who want to connect to each other. So when you search, which means get the parameters of the Bible and get the behavior and the conduct of a person you want to engage. So that if he qualifies or she qualifies according to what you want your marriage to be, then you go by those, okay? You go by those. Not that the pastor or whoever clergyman comes in and he said, me, I'm final. I'm a representative of God and I just have to speak and direct you. No. But
I mean, there are instances where a clergy will direct you and it's for your own good.
Yeah, you see.
I mean, we can't rule out that thing.
They have a limit. There is a line where they end. They cannot jump to the line of God. There is a line where we end as a clergy. We can only talk about those things that are visible and that are known in the society or what that family is all about. You have got a bit of information, but not the deeper intricacies of some untapped, behavior or thinking of a particular human being. Okay. It's very, very difficult. Okay? Because God speaks to each and every one of us differently at different times. So it is not the honors of the clergyman to say, me, I'll be choosing for you who to marry. I would rather allow my mother and my father to choose for me. Because they are more experienced and they know that family. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I would rather allow my mother and my father to choose for me. Because in the olden days, if you want to marry, they looked at the family. How they live, how they do things. Are they progressive? Are they quarrelsome? Are they hardworking? Or are they respectable? Or how do they command the society or the community where they live?
So should the issue of relationship be left to two people? Yeah, maybe before you answer that, maybe Diana, what do you think? Like, just leave it to two people to decide. Like, people should not come in two people's relationship, especially when people are courting.
I think it shouldn't just be left to two people.
Okay.
Having a neutral party or a third party to come in is very important. Because there are times where the two of you are not understanding each other, or you're making the wrong decisions. And now the relationship begins to fall because of the kind of decisions you are making. Maybe you're not listening to each other. There's this person that wants to talk over the other. This person always wants to be understood and not understanding the other person. So having someone to guide you is important, but not somebody making a decision on your behalf. They can guide you, and then it's up to the two of you to make a decision for yourselves.
Is that happening in our country? Do you think a lot of young people out there are making their own personal decisions? Or parents come in, pastors come in, prophets come in, everybody's coming in?
It's a 50-50 thing. We have situations where young people are making their own decision. Not just young people, but even older people. Making their own decisions. They're so closed up and they're not open enough about their relationships, be it their marriage, with their courtship. Then we also have circumstances where they are involving so many people. Marriages, relationships are failing nowadays because somebody will come to their wife and say, my pastor told me this. The wife will come to the husband and say, my friend told me this. So now people are basing their relationships on what their pastor told them. Or what their pastor told them. the outsiders are telling them.
Yeah.
So it's a 50-50 thing.
All right. So I've also seen Apostle where now clergy are just jumping the gun. They'll literally try to prophesy about husband and wife. I mean, now it's okay. It's a 50-50 again. It's just a very thin line. There are instances where a wife is using juju in a home. Okay. And there's also instances where men are actually using juju in their home, and a pastor will see it. All right, and then he'll just come and say, "You, why you're like this? Is your wife?" Okay. People wanna say be wise, but how can you be wise when someone is being killed somewhere? Like the wife is destroying the husband. He's using unnecessary medicines on him, and when he says it to say, "I have seen it," you are doing this to your husband. Then there's rough fracas now in the family. Now there's fighting and ever. Others will say, "Oh, the pastor didn't exercise wisdom. He could have, spoken. How do you think people should be helped in such an instance?
Yeah, in such an instance, as clergy, prophets, men of God, don't be too open, and you have got the authority just to say anything before anyone. It's not allowed. You need to edit. You need to tone your language.
Why?
It's very important, because that which will come after you have said, no prayer will finish it. There is no fasting that will cool down that war. You get?
No, but the person, look, you're in danger.
Yeah.
Should we say it? But you're in danger.
Even in Nathan, when he went to David, he told a story. He told a story which David, he himself...
But he was told immediately.
Yeah, it's David who gave the punishment. David outlined the punishment for such a person that he had in a story without realizing that he was the very man. So for the prophet to come in and
I think he knew it was him, but he was assuming the prophet didn't know.
No, that's why he respected him by telling a story. He didn't go direct. He said there was a man who did such a thing. Oh, sure, in my kingdom, okay. So you judge yourself.
Man should be done once.
You judge yourself. So now we find that the Bible says, what God has put together, no one put asunder.
But if there's juju involved, was God the one putting things together?
That juju must be proven. The pastor should not end at saying, I see you. Go and pick it in the bedroom or in the bath. Because you don't just say, no, I'm seeing juju. If it's a tattoo, show us where the tattoo is. Don't just end at saying that, there's a juju that was played between you the two. Can you explain properly where that juju is?
But if obviously he hasn't seen it physically. Oh, he has seen it spiritually. And he's convinced. Look, we cannot say it's not there.
No.
I agree with the part where he says you have to apply wisdom, right? Before giving out a prophecy. Applying wisdom is very important.
Very important.
Because, like he said, there are times where we get too excited when we receive prophecy or a message from God, and we don't look at the outcome. Someone's home is getting broken. Someone's home is on the line.
But what if they're building their home?
Yes, so they are building, right? So the best thing to do is apply wisdom. And so if I see something to say, okay, Wadi has done juju so that the wife should love him and not leave him, what do I do? Speak to Wadi. I should speak to you to say, God has revealed to me what you're doing is this and this, and you have time to repent and change your ways. If you don't repent, this is what's going to happen. If you confront a witch or a wizard, Wadi, trust me, there's no witch or wizard that, yes, they'll be pompous in front of you, but they'll be scared because they're like, oh, now someone knows my secret. And I don't know how their juju is designed. The moment somebody discovers their secret, it loses power.
Yeah.
Okay.
So confront the person doing the wrong, and don't go directly to tell the innocent person to say, you are being fed this, you are being... Because now there will just be so much chaos that you can't even handle as a man of God.
But how do you help people then? Like, how... shouldn't it be just black and white?
Do you know what happens sometimes? Sometimes as a man of God, if you receive a direction from God or receive a prophecy, the best thing to do is pray about it first. Go in your prayer closet, pray about it. It's not every time that you have to confront a situation to say, this is what's happening to you. Pray about it, and eventually these things will begin to reveal themselves. The person will begin to see themselves.
Okay, now, I'll ask again. I'll come back and ask. The people that do these wrong things, they don't exercise leniency. They don't exercise wisdom. All they're interested in is their selfish issues. Okay? They'll come in, Diana. Today, Diana is... we're just shocked, Diana. ati no Diana nkala ukomu kachani kakopomo. Diana. Mukakebini Diana. No, this is my husband. Hey, Diana. I mean, what happened to the don't worry, what did he do? Hey, leave me alone. Now we're all wondering, what's going on? All of Muntu under a curse. It's very difficult to convince. You can't really speak to the person under a curse because they're just there.
Yes.
Now, for those that see now, there's something wrong with that. Even in the physical, sometimes you don't really need to be a physical pastor to see. I think Diana, or something, because this is not how Diana reacts. So, how do you think we should help you in such a sense? Should we exercise leniency as well, or should we confront the situation head on?
You see, what the life of love, marriage, and living together, much as it is very difficult to the person you're going to choose or get to be your partner, it will be very difficult. But the standards of life of married people is known to everybody. It's not to everybody. Whether you are crazy with that man from Chibodia, from John Lengi, whatever, but why are you failing to live in a better house? Why are you failing to have nice blankets and to have just nice eating? Those are normal things.
Places.
Those are normal things that any person. I grew up in Chibodia.
I'm just saying.
Me, I grew up in
failing to have nice blankets.
You know,